Mardave's first buggy, the Autocross Special. These were released in 1979 and I think marked Mardave's first attempt at getting into the off-roader. So, gonna be really honest, it's not the greatest looking car. If I come round to the side, they just look a bit top heavy, maybe a little bit clumsy looking, and I think that may have reflected in the sales. From what I understand, they didn't sell too well. I believe only in production for probably about 2 years as well, as this led on to the Mardave. I'll sit them side by side in a minute because I still find it amazing that this was 1979, the Mardave was 2 years later, 1981, yet they easily look a decade apart, just to sort of look at them together. But the reason why I like this car so much is because of it representing that change. Before these, all the 1/8 scale cars were really either stock cars or the large 1/8 scale road cars, which we'll get some of those out soon. Very basic car, very much based on the stock car. So when I take the body off, you'll see the chassis is a stock car chassis that was adapted to suit this different style. The problem I possibly see with this, if you were running it off-road, if I turn it round, you will see that where you would have had the belt drive, the clearance from the ground is literally less than a centimetre. So I could see grass getting caught up in that belt drive, dirt, rocks, possibly knocking the belt off. I think it would have been quite difficult to run it as an off-road buggy. But really interesting, I think, to see that this is where Mardave could see I guess a change coming in the market, and that they wanted to be part of that. So I'll sit them side by side and we'll just compare them. Seeing them both together, as I said, 2 years between these in production dates, and the Mardave just looks so much, it looks lower, sleeker, much more aggressive, and as I spoke about in that video, that's why they were in production for so long and they sold so many of these models. So the Autocross, although there is a few around, they are a lot rarer. And I'll take the body off and we'll have a look at the chassis. So as you can see, identical chassis to the stock car. It's just been shortened at the front, as on the stock car the main beams came out protruding in front of the front wheels with then a bumper bar going across. This has been cut right back and then rounded off with a much smaller bumper bar on the front there. The body arrangement is actually just with a screw at the front there, holding the body on, and then because that secures that in at the back end, the body just sits on the pin there, but there's no need for a body clip as it can't come back off there. So this model, as you can see, is missing most of the internals. You'd have your fuel tank sat on the back there, your engine on your engine mounts just here. That would then have a belt drive going on to the drive wheel there on the back axle, and then the radio box would be attached to the chassis plate there. I do have the radio box for this, but it's currently been lent out to see if there's a chance of making up a sort of a copy. So we'll see how that goes. But there you go, a bit of an ugly one, but I think a really significant model there from 1979. Okay, we'll come back to another model soon.